Hello and welcome to this episode of PsychMedia. So today we're going to be talking about a psychological process called cognitive dissonance with a little bit of help from the 13th Doctor's first season. So spoilers, okay? When traditional psychology jargon comes up, lots of people roll their eyes and stop listening and start daydreaming about what to make for dinner should they fix the shed this weekend. But it's okay. I get it. These older terms and concepts conjure up images of Freud, the shadow of the asylum, or maybe in a pile of dusty old psych textbooks from the 70s. But this stuff is impenetrable, and it's long been debunked anyway, right? Well, no. Concepts often stick around because they're the best way to describe a universal experience. So, let today be the day when you finally understand cognitive dissonance without the jargon or the undergrad degree. Put simply, it's the distress or discomfort we feel when we hold two directly conflicting beliefs or opinions, or when we take action that conflicts with a belief. We have a few choices on how we'll react to that distress, but I'll get to that in a minute. Holding conflicting beliefs without feeling distress is usually called hypocrisy, and that's a topic for another day. Suppose you walk past a homeless man starving on the street, and you have $1 in your pocket earmarked for a candy bar later. Now, you don't believe that people should starve on the street, but if you give him that $1, that means no snack for you later. If you choose to walk by him, that uncomfortable feeling, not unlike anxiety or guilt, that's cognitive dissonance, the mental mismatch between two conflicting beliefs. Cognitive dissonance has universality, meaning that it's a part of human psychology regardless of culture. Collectivist, individualist, tribal, or urban, no matter your culture, you will experience it. So, what does all this have to do with Doctor Who anyway? Glad you asked. So we're going to focus on 2 episodes from the season, Rosa and Demons of the Punjab, which brilliantly showcase cognitive dissonance. Rosa details the Doctor and crew's interactions with Rosa Parks in Alabama in 1955 and their efforts to protect her from a future killer intent on changing history by derailing the American Civil Rights Movement. Both Ryan and Yaz encounter standard U.S. racism of the time and reflect on the contemporary British racism they usually face. Demons of the Punjab sees them trying to help a Hindu-Muslim star-crossed couple during the first days of the partition of India in 1947, which left over 2 million dead and 14 million displaced. The bride is Yaz's grandmother, leaving Yaz torn over trying to save her grandmother's doomed Hindu husband, knowing it will mean she's ultimately never born. Let's talk about Rosa first. So a lot of Americans, myself included, might have been left with some cognitive dissonance to work through on that one. Like the kind of, I'm a non-racist American who likes the US, but it is overtly racist both historically and currently. Special programming note, this point is not up for debate. If you view history differently, well, maybe my show is just not right for you. So we have a few ways we can respond to this distress. We could change our belief, change our action relating to that belief, or change our perceptions. All 3 coping mechanisms can be beneficial or maladaptive depending on the situation. For example, I could decide to hate the US, or act by speaking out against racism, or even change my perception and claim the episode over-exaggerated American racism to begin with. Demons of the Punjab had a similar but less severe impact with viewers by pointing out that the colonization, occupation, and ultimate partition of India by the British was a bad thing. People died. A lot of people died. Now, I'm not British, so I had very little personal cultural context for this episode. Modern Brits do have to deal with the legacy of the Empire, both good and bad, and judging from social media, there is a bit of cognitive dissonance going around about that. Doctor Who has faced criticism this season for portraying some unpleasant aspects of US and UK history. Now that's another coping mechanism for cognitive dissonance. If I don't think about it, it goes away, and so does my distress. But why is cognitive dissonance so distressing? Well, the brain and the body automatically strive for homeostasis, a condition of balance. We want that balance psychologically as well and are motivated to build it. We all have our own ideas of ourselves and how the world is, and sometimes those ideas can come into conflict with reality. Now, humans adapt, we're good at that, so we can adapt ourselves to match reality. Sometimes these adaptations are morality driven, and we could experience personal growth from them. Some, like justifications, seek to reinforce our internal beliefs over reality. The smoker's paradox is a good example here. People know that smoking is very harmful to their health, but find rationalizations to do it anyway. In Rosa and Demons of the Punjab, the Doctor had to stand by and let injustice and murder happen, both to preserve history and to save a companion's life. Now, these are actions that are contrary to her nature, and her cognitive dissonance is evident. We all try to be the person that we believe we are. I want to believe that I wouldn't have been racist in Alabama in 1955. A Brit might want to believe that they wouldn't have supported the evils of colonialism during the empire. Okay, real talk. Why does any of this matter? Well, we'll all be in situations of conflict that can cause cognitive dissonance, so understanding the process and our reaction to it can really help us deal with it. There's a lot more to say about this. I'm going jargon free today, so I'm leaving aside adjacent constructs like induced compliance and the forbidden behavior paradigm to your extra reading if you're interested. So, what about you? Has a show or film caused you cognitive dissonance? What was it and how did you work through it? Let me know in the comments. Well, that's been this episode of PsychMedia. Please like and subscribe if you feel moved to do so. And as always, if you did want to support myself or the show, there's a link to my Patreon in the description box below. Bye now. Thank you to the following patrons, with an especial thank you to Gomer, Nate Watson, and Ed Palnick.